first step is to sew all 3 pieces in the round. So your band and your piping piece, you are going to take the right sides together and pin along the edge. Then you'll sew a 5/8 seam allowance. And then you're going to press it open or press it flat first and then press it open. And then you're going to trim your seam allowances to 1/4 of an inch. Then you are going to fold the band in half and press it flat so that your edges line up all the way around so that you have a perfect band that's double-sided that will help hide your seam later in the video. Then you are going to repeat those same steps with the band. Once you get those 2 things done, you're going to set that aside. So for the pillowcase, you're going to pin it together wrong sides together, and then you're going to sew that at 5/8 as well. Once you get that done, you're going to press it flat, press it open like we always do. Then you will measure 1/4 of an inch on the right hand side and trim that. And then on the left hand side, you're going to press under 1/4 of an inch so that you have it kind of looking like this. After that, you are going to pin it in place. So you're going to take it, open it up slightly, and you're going to fold it over. As you're pinning, you set it into the fabric right where you want it to stay, and then come up the other side because that will be right where it sticks. And I'm just gonna go along maybe every 1 or 2 inches and pin that until I complete the whole length of the pillowcase. Okay, now that I have my pinning finished, I'm going to set it. I switched my presser foot so that I have my edge stitching presser foot on and moved my needle over. Now I'm gonna line the edge of my fabric up with the edge of the presser foot and set it down, and then I will sew right along the edge until I've completed the length of the pillow. Okay, so as you can see, I finished my flat felled seam, which is something you'll see on like jeans or a men's dress shirt. And now I'm going to demonstrate the French seam on the bottom. So you're gonna find the bottom of your pillowcase, make sure you fold the flat felled seam just perfectly in half, and then you're gonna sew it 3/8. Make sure that's 3/8 because then you're gonna flip it around. And then I'm gonna trim it down to 1/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna measure that, and then you can just kind of eyeball it to 1/4 of an inch and trim. After I pinned that inside out, I sewed it at 1/4 of an inch. Then I'm going to turn that in, and you'll see that the French seam has enclosed completely my seam allowance. Next, you're going to take your piping band and find the seam and line it up with the seam of your flat felled, and then pin that in place and sew it on at 5/8 of an inch. I've now trim and graded my band, my pillowcase, and my piping, so they're all different lengths, and then I pressed under the top of the band 5/8. Now I'm just gonna fold it over, and I'm gonna pin it right on top of my stitching line. Once I get that all the way pinned, I'm just gonna top stitch along this edge, and then I'll be done with my pillowcase.